You. Yeah, you. Are you looking to save some money? Well, you came to the wrong place. Hello everyone, welcome back to this weird channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how to bulk load your own film. Now, as we all know, film can get really expensive. There are actually many ways you can save money by shooting film, either shooting expired film or just not shooting film at all. But if you're looking into shooting fresh, non-expired film, bulk loading is definitely your best solution. So what bulk loading film is that you basically buy 100 feet of film. It usually comes in a box like this, and you take the film inside this box and put it into a little bulk loader that looks like this. Once it's in here, you can take a reloadable film canister and you pretty much just load film into this canister, and there you have it. Now the prices may vary depending what film stock you want. The cheapest right now in the market as I'm filming this video is Ultrafine Extreme. This thing cost me about $45 shipped, and you get about 18 rolls of film, which is about $2 per roll, which is pretty good for black and white film. And you can get the expensive stuff, which is T-Max 400. Yeah, $60 is not the current price for it. This thing expired way back in 2009. Yeah, that was the price back then. Last time I checked, T-Max 400 was about $89, not including shipping and handling. But you still have other weird film stocks like Kentmere 400, which used to be the cheapest black and white film on the market, but they're going for a little bit more nowadays. Last time I checked, they raised their prices up to $60 a box, which is still pretty good, but not as good as $45 for Ultrafine Extreme. And then for color film, you have this stuff. This is tungsten balanced film 500T. This is basically Cinestill, except rated at 500 instead of 800. And it does come with a remjet backing, which you can't process at a normal lab. You have to process yourself typically. Some labs do it, but usually you do have to process the film yourself. So that's the only downside to bulk loading remjet film. But it is the only color option as of now that you can get. So yeah, that's basically what bulk loading film is. Now, I am going to go into more detail on how to load this film into the little film loader, but I do want to point out the fact that you do have to invest at first. You have to buy a bulk loader. After you get the film loader, you do have to buy reusable film canisters such as this, or you can always get one of these discarded film rolls from your local lab. Essentially what these are is that these are film rolls developed at a lab, and the machines that they use, they don't really have to destroy the canister like you would at home. It basically leaves a little tail here at the end, which you could tape your film in your bulk loader and reload your film in these. So that's one way to save money while doing this. But not all film labs are just gonna have these laying around and just gonna give it to you for free. So these are the two things that you do have to invest in at first. But in the long run, you will save a lot of money because it is a lot cheaper to buy bulk film instead of buying individual rolls or film packs. So yeah, without any further ado, I'm now going to go into great detail on how to load film into the loader and then into the canister. This is the reloadable film canister, as you can see. Pretty much to open this, you screw the top here, take this little winder off, pry it open, and now it's opened. This is where your film goes. You pretty much feed your film through this little slot here, which is covered in felt, and it goes out to this side. And the felt pretty much prevents light from getting into the little container here that contains all your film. So this is your bulk film. It usually comes this way in a little box. Now, before you open this, you do want to make sure that you are in complete darkness, either a dark room or a closet or a bathroom with no windows, or you can have what's called a dark bag. I actually have one of these myself. That's what I use. Everything that I'm about to demonstrate should be done in complete darkness, so you've been warned. So pretty much you open your film, and inside the box it's going to be a little black bag. Now at this point your film is still light tight because of the black bag, but this is a risky move if you were to just hold it out in the light like I'm doing right now. So make sure you're in a dark bag. I cannot stress that enough. Once you're in complete darkness, you want to open up the bag, and there's your film. Now obviously you're going to get a lot more film than this. This is just all I had for demonstrating purposes. But basically in a nutshell, it's going to look something like this. It's going to be taped off with masking tape here that you want to just gently take off. You want to grab your film loader thing, pry the top open. Now typically there is going to be a little spool thing in the middle here, and you're supposed to put it into this little screw thing just like that. And you do want to make sure that you load your film like this. I like to think of the number 6 when I'm trying to load the film, or the little tail here pointing towards the right. As you can see, this is the correct way to load it. You want to put it like that into the film loader. You want to take the lead and insert it into the little slot like that. Now, you don't want to pull out too much like that. I actually like to leave about 1.5 inches out exposed. Probably about right there is fine. I don't know if you can see that. And that's pretty much good right there. So once you do that, you're pretty much good to close this thing. Now, once you tightly secure this lid on, you're pretty much safe to bring this outside into the light. You can always leave this door open because the light will not penetrate this little felt thing, as you can see here. You do want to avoid, though, pulling out your film like that, because all of the film right there is being exposed to light right now. So you do want to make sure you don't pull out too much. And like I said, once this little lid is tightly closed, your film is light safe. You could take it out of the dark bag or the dark closet and you won't ruin your film. So to load your film, you're going to need a few accessories. Now these are all the accessories you're going to need to load your film. Obviously you don't need 2 canisters, this is either or. You do want to have strong tape with you. This is Scotch tape, I believe, or at least a knockoff version of it. But this tape is strong and sturdy. You can actually use electrical tape. I've actually used that in the past. I wouldn't recommend masking tape because masking tape isn't sturdy enough in my opinion. So make sure you get yourself sturdy tape. You're going to need scissors to cut the film off. And of course, you're going to need your film loader, obviously. So for this step here, you want to take the spool out, open the door. I'm going to start with a roll of Portra 400 here. I'm going to reload film into this thing. Essentially what I do is I grab a piece of tape, not too long, and I just place the tape on top of the film right there. Now this step is important. You do want to make sure that the pointy side of this film canister is facing down like that. Now for demonstration purposes, I am going to pull a lot of film out. You're not supposed to do this because you are exposing all of this film to light, and this is probably like 3 or 4 exposures right there, so don't waste your film. So you want to take your film and you basically want to conjoin the two like that. Doesn't have to be perfectly aligned, but you do have to try your best. Once it's aligned, I pretty much squeeze the tape onto it. Now I'm actually going to take another piece of tape, again, not too long, just about 1 inch. Now for this next step, as you can see, this film kind of just flops over into the other side. Place tape onto the film, like here, and then I kind of just conjoin the two. And you do want to make sure that you tape both sides just for safety measures. You don't want this film coming apart in your camera. And you just want to push the film all the way in, close the door, grab your little film loader, kind of put it in, and you're pretty much ready to start loading. Now for this bulk loader here, it's 31 turns for 36 exposures, 24 for 24 exposures, 19 for 18 exposures, 13 turns for 10 exposures. Now just for demonstration purposes, I'm actually going to turn about 5 times because I don't want to eat up all my film that's in there. It's not a lot. So for this loader, it doesn't have a counter. Most other loaders actually do have a little frame counter that automatically turns as you're spinning, but this one doesn't have that, so you manually had to keep count. Now the way I manually count is I place my thumb up here near the little spinner and I start to spin, and every time the spinner hits my thumb I count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, every time the spinner hits my thumb, it's a turn. I did do 5 rotations, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up. To do that, you want to pull out the little winder and open the door. It's that simple. Now for this part, you just want to pull your film out, grab your scissors, and just cut this thing off. Now for this step, I actually do like to cut in my own lead. Now I pretty much place my scissors in the middle of the film here, and I just cut away. Don't want to cut too much. I would say about, what is that, 8 sprockets in. That's how you form a leader. Now I do like to round out the edges, which makes it seem a little bit more legit here. And there you go, you successfully loaded this first roll of film. Now, if you aren't able to acquire one of these used canisters, you can always get yourself one of these reloadable canisters and make your own little film lead. The way I do that is I basically take any old piece of negative. You can always use a blank roll that you got from the lab, or pretty much any burnt film spots, as you can see here. But for this demonstration, I'm actually going to use this old negative that contains really bad photos that I really don't care about. Now, you actually want to count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprockets, and you just want to cut. You want to take your 6th sprocket here, and you're going to pretty much tape it to this little spool. You do want to be a little generous when it comes to taping this part. So pretty much I start by taping the spool. Okay, it should be good enough. Now I take my little piece of negative here and I tape it onto this little spool. Just like that. Now you do want to tape the bottom here just so it won't come off. You don't have to use a lot of tape for this one. You just want a little piece of tape right there. Now you just want to take a little film canister here and then just load it back in. Put the top on, and you successfully created your little reloadable canister here, with the tail of course. Now to load the film onto this one, you pretty much do the same thing as you did on this one. It's really no difference. You do the exact same thing. So I won't be demonstrating that for this. That pretty much wraps up for this video. If you're interested in buying bulk load film, I will be leaving a few Amazon links down below, as well as the link to Ultrafine Online. I will also leave that down below because it's a great website and you should go check it out. Now, I know it's been a while since I last uploaded a video, and I am working on changing that. I do want to go back to weekly uploads because that is the goal of this channel. I might even upload twice a week, but you didn't hear that from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below if you ever shot bulk load film, or if you're even interested in shooting bulk load film. But yeah, with all that being said, until next time.